Hey guys, welcome to our Random Tuesday Paintapalooza. Sometimes we go live on Tuesdays and we paint thrift stuff and we let you know what we're doing. We take things that are like usually discarded, broken, whatever, and we paint them. And we have a lot of things that need to get done out of the garage. I've been putting off this particular project for I don't even know how long, and it's going to be super simple. Deb's got a bunch of candlesticks to paint. This hasn't even been listed because I have no idea.
And well, you can see it had like some big gloopy spots, and I sanded it. It's actually paper mache, the whole thing. So I sanded some places I didn't necessarily want to sand before I knew that. So I'm going to be using some paint frosting on it. And then these are just all those spindles we got last week at Savers. And we're going to just use them almost like architectural salvage. You could get them if you want and do like little candlesticks on the top or drill them out more and do tapers. They go all the way to the bottom. So just
Deb's not drilling them out.
I'm not going to be drilling them out.
And Caitlin, I don't think she's on here. It's not a regular schedule live. So I just dropped the link to JamieRayVintage.com. Everything we're going to be using is on there. And I will try to monitor comments, but I'm also going to be painting. So if you miss anything, you can email info@JamieRayVintage.com, like if I don't answer a question, and Caitlin will help you. Let me put the email address in comments as well.
We also have this from Saturday. Couldn't determine 100% if it was Fenton or not, but we're like 99.9% sure that it's a Fenton dessert tray.
But we're 100% sure that there's always a distinct possibility we could be wrong.
Yes.
Oh, this is not.
That's not what you wanted. Here, leave that brush in there and just get a different brush.
It has Provincial on it.
Oh, you had Provincial on that brush?
Yeah.
Now you contaminated my crockery.
I know. There's been.
So it was missing a little knob. We don't know if it probably had like a little ring on the top. We don't have that. I did find this wood knob that screws down really nicely, but it's kind of scuffed and dinged, and I'm going to paint it white and just put it on the top there.
Good morning, Kelly. All right, so I am now using Provincial, and I'm just painting. This was just like
it's galvanized.
Yeah, that thing. Okay, Caitlin's gonna probably be on in about 5 minutes. She has oops, did I get paint on there? Where do you want it? She has had her kitchen torn apart. And so she'll be on in a minute. She's got the restoration.
She had a leak upstairs and it went down and got all of her kitchen stuff. And they had to completely tear out like a ton of insulation and all the way to her outer wall. And so she's been dealing with that for like, what's it been, 2 weeks now, week and a half?
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Anyways, so I'm monitoring both. I think I'm doing pretty good. I also see all my favorite people on here. And the good news is that people have questions. 95% of our regulars could probably answer them. In fact, the other day I was Googling Jamie Ray Vintage because I always like to see what the interwebs say about us, see if there's any random crap. You know, occasionally you'll have people say things that aren't true about you. You got to check yourself out on Reddit. If you haven't done social media, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I looked this up, and the AI feature automatically gave the live times that we have, because I consistently, every video, say the time that we go live on Wednesday morning and then the time that we go live on Saturday night. AI has picked up on that. And so if you Google us and you ask, when is Jamie Ray Vintage live, it'll pop up with our live times.
Yep. It was pretty fun.
A lot of you
AI
guys have
is
been
working
here for a while.
us finally.
Can you paint over black wax? Technically, you're not supposed to paint over wax because it is a resist, but I have. Just know that there's a distinct possibility that it might resist your paint. It really depends on how thick was the black wax. Is it cured hard? Has most of it been wiped off? That will make a difference. If most of the wax has been wiped off and it's been painted or waxed like a few years ago, you could probably paint over it. I have. You could use like Salvation Solution Primer and then paint. But if it's a recent black wax job and you try to paint over it, you'll probably not have the paint stick so well, because wax, it's like water and oil, how they resist each other. Same thing with wax and water-based paint.
Okay, we're just going to set this little knob to the side. It's going to need a second coat. I was touching it too much, and everywhere my fingers touched, it was peeling paint off. So we're going to let it dry, and then we'll get a second coat on there. I am going to be using crockery, and then we're going to add some paint frosting to this. Now, this is the Cottage color formula. This paint frosting works in, I haven't found a paint it doesn't thicken up. Kind of like the salt wash, but less textured. It just makes your paint really thick without necessarily the texture. But you can build texture if you let your paint dry a little bit. But I'm just going to thicken this paint up.
You're thickening. The Cottage Colors thickens very fast.
Yeah, all that to say, this thickens very fast with the Cottage color. And you just need like a few little drops and it'll start thickening up really quick. And I'm thickening it up because this still has like these weird texture, like you can see here. Someone like did like a glop of, it was literally like glue and paper mache that they just like smeared on there. And it was all over in various different spots. I'm going to cover that up and we're just going to use the crockery to do it.
And if we sound a little under the, actually you sound normal. I'm finally to the stage of my cold where it's like coming down my nose. So I'm a little nasally more than normal. So that's why we're home today. I'm home in my sweatshirt, painting projects. After this, I plan on laying in bed and listing the thrift haul all day. Deb and I did you guys watch yesterday's video? We thrifted so much. It's going to take me hours to get that all listed, but all right. I'm excited.
I just started stirring that. Look at that. That's paint with the paint frosting. And we're going to smear that on and give it some texture that, I mean, look, it's not, I got to hurry. It's not even coming off my fork.
Yeah, good luck with that. I told you had to work fast. Let's talk more action. This was like a bisque, like an unfired piece of pottery. So this paint is going to stick really well to this.
It's so thick already.
And I'm using Provincial on this as well. I am going to be using Blue Hills in a second. So the Cottage color, if you're new here, has a built-in sealer. So it works well for these quick little thrift flips. I don't know. I don't think the lavender has sold yet. I think mostly in part because it didn't look very good. I need to fix, some of it was poking off to the side. So I'm going to fix that with a glue gun and I'm going to put moss in it. I don't know why, but these like mass-produced, made in China companies make these things. They put greenery in it like that. But then they like spray paint the foam green, like people are going to think that looks good. All you have to do when you get stuff like that is to poke moss in there and glue it in, and it makes the flower arrangement looks brand new and a lot higher end than what it did before.
All right, this is happening how I wanted. So we got it gooped on there, right? Because I had put too much paint frosting in there, and now I'm just taking my brush and it is smoothing that out, hiding all of that bad random texture that I don't even know what they were going for with that. And we're going to get almost like a stone hand turned or even like a cement pot look out of this, which I'm super excited about. And I'll just take crockery and paint this top portion.
I guess I should paint underneath this lid portion here. As soon as I'm done painting this, I'm going to hop on my phone and share this in the Jamie Ray Vintage group on Facebook. Because Caitlin's going to send the text as soon as she's done with the restoration company. But if you guys are on Facebook and you want to hit that share button, share this out with your friends. It'll let Facebook know, hey, this is a really cool live. We should get it to more people. So that way we have more people to talk to and hang out with.
All right. So now I got it smooth and kind of evenly laid out, and I'm just texturing it with the end of the brush.
Tina, you're not an hour late. We've only been live, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, we don't, on Tuesdays, sometimes we do this, sometimes we don't. We don't necessarily have like a designated start time.
Yeah, Tuesday is different. Well, every other Tuesday we do a channel member live for our paid group, if you're in the paid group on Facebook or YouTube. And then on the off Tuesdays, occasionally we'll like pre-film Thursday's video if we are having a busy week. But this week we have less stuff going on. So we're doing a Paintapalooza. And we'll start filming Thursday's video tomorrow. Okay. Don't you use that paint frosting to create a pattern with a stencil also? Yes.
Yeah, you can, and we have. It really thickens it up nicely.
Share this to the Jamie Ray Vintage group.
Just going to dry the bottom off so I can set it down real quick.
All right. Thanks for sharing, Lisa. All right, what am I doing next? Okay. Should I actually, no, I am going to paint this Provincial. But, before I do that, I'm going to squirrel. If you don't know what squirrel means, it's when I pivot and do something else. I'm going to go ahead and paint the base of my cutting board that I'm working on. because this has to dry so I can put a transfer on it. So I'm going to get that done so I can set it aside. Then I'll get back to painting my candlestick.
Have any of you guys seen the movie Up? The dog that can talk? That's where that line comes from. He's like talking, having a conversation, then he sees a squirrel and he like immediately like yells squirrel and starts chasing the squirrel.
I thought it was way longer than that, but I guess not, huh? All right, next up I'm using Blue Hills. We opened this jar, was it last week before? We haven't used Blue Hills in a while, and we've used like only like this much of it, like hardly any. So we're going to be using Blue Hills for the foreseeable future. If you guys haven't seen it, this is not going to be like food safe to cut on. This is going to be to have fun with.
For look-sies.
I can use like a hemp oil to seal it with, and then like a faux stain with milk paint if I wanted to, and then make it food safe that way. So it could be food safe on the other side, but I'm just going to try to just throw some paint on here. Then once it's dry, I'll sand it off and we'll put a transfer on it. And then I'm probably going to use like dark oil wax. So I'm not doing full coverage in the paint because I want it to look kind of old and decrepit, like it was painted and wore off over time. So there's no point in putting a lot of paint on if I'm going to take a lot of paint off. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. If you're a perfectionist, this is probably going to hurt your brain that that's all I'm doing. But
it looks good when we're done.
I'm going to leave this over here in case you want to paint anything Blue Hills. That's probably the only thing I'm painting today. So, well, I mean, in that color. Okay, set that aside. Now I can go back to this. It says, I love that movie. Me too. So we live in Utah, and there is actually a house that was built as an up replica. What, like 20 minutes from here?
Yeah.
So it's in a community called Daybreak in South Jordan. And it's super cute. They have like the furniture, everything in there. All right. Now I'm doing your lunch. Hey, Deborah. We're just home. We don't feel good, so we're painting. And then we'll spend the afternoon laying in bed watching YouTube and listing the thrift haul.
I've been watching the latest season of Homestead Rescue.
Oh yes, Homestead Rescue is a good one. We also have to drive kids around. I got to pick up Eliza at 2:15 from cheer, and then Redrick has probably track today or weightlifting, depending on what he chooses to go to. And I do have a cheer parent meeting that I probably could get out of since I don't feel great, but I'm not running a fever or coughing, so I just won't lick anybody, and I think I'll be good. I have been to, this will be my 7th mandatory parent cheer meeting. I could probably run them at this point.
I went to the one, Odelia's last one I went to.
Oh, okay.
Her senior year.
We take turns. Zeb went to the, well, actually we both went to the football meeting. You went to the track meeting.
Yeah.
The football meeting we both wanted to go to because we have a new head football coach, but the cheer has been the same coach for like 10 years. And we've had a girl in Lehigh High School cheer for 6 years. So this will be our 7th year in a row. We just got done. Eliza had her banquet last night. And that was really fun. She got voted most improved main base and queen of the count. So if you don't know about cheer, they count 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eliza has been like, she knows the count of every routine, of every dance she's ever done immediately. When she was a little girl, like 3 years old, she did a dance performance and she was moving the people to where they should be and doing the count, helping them know the routine. And none of that's changed. And so the cheer coaches always tell me that if they ever need to know where the count is when they're doing a new routine, they can always ask Eliza, and she knows that count. Like, she's so good at that. And that's important because sometimes they get their music wrong or it's not loud enough for them to hear. And those girls got to know what they're doing when. All right, this
what
is
happened to that little brush? Oh, it's right here.
What little brush?
I got it. I washed it.
Thanks for Sharon, Lynn, and Stacy Cookie Coach. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Says, I love Homestead Rescue. You know what I have been watching is There's a show on YouTube called Jolly, Jolly, and it literally has nothing to do with anything you think Zeb and I would be watching. I've been watching the Chateau shows.
It's a couple British guys that just go all over the place
and
testing
they eat
food.
American food, and then they also feed American food to British people. Or they had a French guy on there talking about cheeses. And if you know Zeb and I, we love the British people. We travel to England every year, sometimes a couple times a year. And it's just such a fun thing for us to do. And it's even more interesting to watch because we understand where they're coming from, having been to England. And like, we've seen the anomaly, I guess you could call it, that is British people at McDonald's. They are like, it is like the highlight of those kids' days.
And they eat all kinds of food. Like they eat like fast food, and then they'll eat like
healthy. It's like a treat though to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
And they're so excited to get this McDonald's treat or go to KFC.
Yeah.
KFC is really big. So it's just fun to watch. So it's called Jolly if you want something that's...
They just went to the Lions and the Buffalo Bills playoff game. Yeah. They were at that, and we watched that last night, even though that happened a while ago. And they were like tailgating with everybody.
It's Cook. Okay, thank you. Cookie Cook. So yeah, sorry, Leslie. I don't know why YouTube didn't send it out. Caitlin will be sending a text here in a little bit. Lynn says, is she iCal? I don't know. I think maybe you misspelled that. iCal? Are you talking about Eliza? I don't know. And for those of you that don't know, our oldest daughter, Odelia, is actually back home from her mission for a little bit. She has not been sleeping well for about 6 months. And by not sleeping well, I mean she's just not getting rest. And so she's home to have some sleep studies, do some therapy. We are going to fix her.
Well, they think she has
sleep apnea.
They think she has sleep
When
apnea.
they say they, we mean mom. Thanks.
Well, and like the mission nurse is like, we tried everything we can do. We're going to send her home to see if we can get this fixed. And then if we get it fixed, she'll be going back out.
She wants to go back out to Michigan. She loves the people there. So Deb and I are also very busy getting like all the doctor's appointments set up for Odelia. She's got a consultation in a couple weeks for her sleep study. And we got to get in touch with the ENT because when Odelia was in cheer, she had broken nose and she has a deviated septum. So we also want to make sure that gets taken care of because that can interrupt sleep and breathing and all of those things. So, Caitlin's on here. Hello, Caitlin. I'm glad that you have your kitchen coming along because it's been weeks and weeks. They didn't even have insulation in Caitlin's wall for a while. Her downstairs was very cold. It's one of those things is like you don't know how much you've got till it's gone. It was kind of like us and not having a dryer for a month, and now it's working and it's just the best thing that ever happened. I was living a very like 1850s life, laying out all of my clothes. I mean, at least I wasn't washing in my hand.
That could have been 1950s.
Yeah, or it could be us every time we're in Europe.
Get that solar dryer out.
Every Airbnb we've ever had doesn't like. I don't think we've ever had one with a dryer. It's all just hang to dry, which is fine. All right.
I don't know that I've used this color yet.
Yeah. So, what? Oh, the
do you remember
trellis rose?
Trellis rose. Thank you. I'm like, do you remember what you named this paint?
I do. All right. So I'm going to use the seeds catalog, I think, on this bucket here. I think this already sold. Oh, you know what would be cute is these strawberries. Let me get my scissors. I am going to be stamping in a little bit. Hopefully I don't screw it up. I haven't stamped in a while. But we have an entire collection of retired iron orchid designs that is 30% off. No code needed. And once it's gone, like
it's retired.
It's retired. So if you've wanted anything, and now's the time to get it, and it's on sale. So
it's what we have left.
I'm using a retired stamp here in a little bit. Also, tomorrow is the last day to sign up for our rice paper subscription and our stencil subscription for the month of March. And then Wednesday, we'll be showing you what's coming out the next month. And I tested out my stencils for next month. They're good. They're so good. So you're not going to want to miss out. I thought that this month's were like the best ever because I've done so many things with this month's stencils. But next month's stencils are going to be even better. I'm super excited. And I'm also working on an entire stencil launch for our retail and wholesale line. And I've got a couple designed. It's one of the things I've been doing from my sick bed while I've been resting with a stupid cold It's like not bad enough to keep me down, but it's lingering, even though I'm trying to rest. It's annoying.
So this trellis rose that I'm using is from the new bespoke milk paint line that we have. And all these colors are great. We're hoping to expand that line pretty quickly, but we just came out with it last month. So
It's still a brand new baby. I do need to talk to Sasha about like if she wants to do like once a year color increases or what. But the bespoke milk paint collection has been insanely popular. Kaylin can attest to reordering a ton. Oh, sweet. Jody got the snowflake stamps that were retired for 30% off. Yes, please shop our retired and discontinued IOD because we have to make room for new products and we only have so much room. So I'd love for you guys to look through that discontinued collection, get a good deal, and then we can reinvest in more goodness. Okay, I've got the strawberries. Look how cute that is. So this is from the seed catalog transfer.
that's probably my hands down favorite one.
Such a good go-to for your thrift flip needs.
You all know I love advertising, and especially old like ephemera type advertising, and it nails that.
Just going to make sure this is all the way down, and then I will just run some clear wax over here. It'll be good. Speaking of wax, in the DIY wax, all of the colored waxes are out of stock at DIY. We do have some on the website, so if you've been wanting it, get it. We should have it restocked about 4 weeks, but when what we have is gone, we won't be able to restock for 4 weeks. In the clear wax, we only have the big ones. We are currently sold out of the little ones. However, all that to say, you don't see us use it a lot just because we've always just used the DIY, but we have in the past, and we used to do it in our craft kits. We have Sweet Pickins beeswax, which works just fine. You're going to get same great results.
I really
It's got a
like
little
it.
longer open time.
Yeah, that's why you see us not use it as much on a live stream, because we can get a more finished look with the DIY faster, but it cures up in about the same amount of time, to be honest, as far as like cure time goes for waxes. And it smells like beeswax. It smells amazing.
So if you need a small clear wax sample, just look up the beeswax. We still have the big pots of the DIY wax. We still have all the colors currently of the DIY wax, but as those sell out, before we're able to restock, just do the Sweet Pickins beeswax. You will be pleasantly surprised. It has a really sweet smelling beeswax smell. Oh, seed catalog is sold out with IOD and us, so I probably shouldn't use it.
We're like, hey, this is our favorite one, but you can't have it.
But you can click the link, and anything that's sold out, if you click the link, say notify me when back in stock, as soon as we have it, the website sends you an email. And that's super handy. It's how I got our Ninja shake machine. We have the slushy that makes slushies and milkshakes. It was sold out forever, and I did the same thing. Notify me when back in stock. It sent me an email, and I got on there, Johnny on the spot, and got me a slushy machine, and we have enjoyed it. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. I need to probably keep like a list of what's sold out, but man, it is a struggle. So, but we have lots of transfers. You can use lots of transfers. Okay, I'm gonna, oops, is that dry? I think so. I'm gonna second coat this, then I'll set it aside, second coat this, set that aside, and then we'll work back to my little box of lavender over there. Do we have a wax page? I think we have a finishes page. I'm not sure.
So if you just type in wax in the search, it'll bring up all the oil waxes. It'll bring up all of the brands of the waxes and the colored waxes, everything.
Yeah, I know there's a supporting products page for DIY, so it's all the DIY, but I don't know that there's a specific wax page.
Like when I'm searching for links to put in the website, I just type in wax. And then it brings all the stuff up. We
have a very robust search feature on the website. It looks like a little magnifying glass. And yeah, just type wax in there or type in clear wax and all of the clear waxes will pop up. We also have a clear oil wax. That is different. That is a liquid.
But also works very
well. It works, but it is not the same. So you want the beeswax is the same type of product. Obviously not exactly the same, but same type of product as a DIY.
I'm just heat gunning these ends so that I can paint the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to let the rest of it hopefully dry on its own. And I think I'm going to come back with the dark oil wax that I've been using so much because I love it. And it is magic with the milk paint.
What brand of orange oil do you recommend? Orange oil, what's that?
For like furniture oil?
We've never used orange oil. We've used Johnson's Feed and Wax, but that's not orange.
So what I use if I want to condition furniture or wood products, I use the Sweet Pickens tongue oil, or the hemp oil works really well too. The tongue oil is going to dry hard like a sealer. So if you want more of like a nourishing effect, I use the hemp oil.
Okay, there you go. That's the answer to that question. Tony, wait till you get an email that says that it's ready for you to pick up if you picked local pickup. Because especially with the stencils and the subscriptions, like sometimes we have to print things out. The stencils, I order like an initial amount that should cover everybody that signed up for the month before. But if it's the end of the month, like we are right now, I think we have like 8 stencils and they're shipping out orders. And then I will order more, which we probably won't have for like a week once we're done with all the signups for the month. We try really hard to estimate exactly how many we're going to have, but we never know exactly how many until we get to the 12th, because there's always that mad dash on the 12th to hurry up and get that month's stencils and stamps, because we have to cut it off at some point. Yeah, you'll get an email though once it's ready, Tony. For cleaning, is it lemon oil?
Don't you have that oil that you use for cleaning that we carry at the shop?
Well, I use the lemon oil to take off tags, but then
no, it's in the big jar, like the cleaning.
That's Citrusolve.
Yeah.
But that's not orange. It's just we have a cleaner called Citrusolve, Citrisolv, and it's a concentrate. It makes like 30 or something gallons of cleaner. It smells amazing. It's bio-certified. And it comes in a bottle about this big because you can add water to it, which is great.
But you are right. I don't think we've ever carried like any orange oil.
But I don't know that that's orange oil. Everything is already sold you're working on. I don't think so.
Not everything. It'll be listed as will get painted if it's not sold.
I'm like 99% sure that this sold. I don't think that this canister has sold. This candlestick has not sold. And last I checked, that lavender that I was working on earlier hadn't sold. I don't know if the cutting board, that's the only thing. I would be surprised if the cutting board wasn't sold because they've been popular. But if you go to the thrift hall and sort, well, if you sort new to old, it'll show everything that's been sold. But if you look through it, you can find them. And I will update the pictures when we're no longer live if things haven't sold yet.
So this is not Kent. What?
That's Cheshire.
Cheshire. All the English names.
Cheshire is named after the Cheshire chicken, and that is the color of their eggs. It's funny, Zeb and I, like Jamie Ray Vintage is Zeb and Jamie. And some things Zeb does and some things I do. And I named these, but then sometimes Zeb will name like some of the Cottage colors. Or
I named all the new Cottage colors that are coming when we have our next release. So
yeah, someday when that happens. But he also names all of the stencils, and I name all the stencils. He names all the decoupage paper. So it's funny, between the two of us, we usually have all the names. Okay, yep, Caitlin's dropping links to things that we're working on that are available if you guys want to get them.
Yeah, I name all the papers. Jamie names all the stencils. And then we have all these other supporting products like the paints and
the Iron Orchid designs,
and it gets to be a lot to remember.
It's thousands of names to keep in our brain. Should we know them all? Yes. Do we know them all? No. Do we even pronounce them correctly? Also, no. Much to the Iron Orchid Design sisters' chagrin, we cannot.
So I mixed this one up a little thinner than I did the trellis rose, because this wood is raw and it's just soaking it in, so it doesn't have to be super thick. And I'll probably water that down a little bit and do another spindle in the trellis rose because I have some extra mixed up.
I'm like splattering paint all over my sweatshirt.
All clothes are paint clothes.
It's provincial in here. I think I might even need a third coat. I don't know why this one's taking so much. I am going to white wax this. I really love the combination of provincial and white wax. So what are you doing? You're doing milk paint?
I'm doing milk paint.
A dark base.
And then I'm going to dark oil wax them.
Oh, okay.
It will all come back
around. But it won't chip because you're painting raw wood.
Yeah, it might not chip much. I'm going to probably have to distress.
Milk paint and raw wood, it's like soaks that up. If you ever have dry hands and you get milk paint on your hands, like it's going to stick there for a while. It'll remind you to moisturize those hands. The easiest paint to get off is DIY paint. Cottage color sticks for a long time too. I typically have paint all over my hands. All right, let's let that dry for a hot minute. Let's see. This is dry. This is dry. Oh, this is have some wet spots still. No. Oh, it's still a little wet on the edges.
All right, so you can see the trellis rows next to the Cheshire, right there. Here,
they're pretty. Where do you have sandpaper out, sweetie?
I do not have any sandpaper out.
I have two right here.
Oh, that's too much water.
Okay. This, I'm not sure if it's sold, but I've already painted it with the Blue Hills. I'm just going to distress it. Oops. This had said Tillamook cheese on the back. Had somebody's dad's notes all over it. Looked like my dad's handwriting.
I forgot to sand that.
I did.
Did you go sand that?
I do know how to use a sander. I just try to pretend like I don't, so that way you do it for me.
I had some other things. You guys may not even remember. We had some bookends that were cement that didn't end up getting listed, but I showed them because I didn't know they hadn't been listed in the thrift haul. I just sanded them. I'll show them to you in a second.
Do we still have the Katharina transfer? That's what I'm using next, Caitlin. I hope we do. At least I think this is Katharina. I missed the top page. What is that noise?
That is your ice maker dying.
Oh.
It may be out of water.
I don't think anybody can hear it except for me.
I'm going to run it till it dies, and then we have a backup because I got them on sale at Costco.
Yeah.
I
love me a crunchy ice. See, my little crunchy ice.
They were.
My ice maker's squeaking. We have surprisingly hard water that ruins appliances, and so Zeb has cleaned out the ice maker a lot, but it's dying. So Zeb bought me a backup because Costco.
We were at Costco, and I'm like, man, that's super cheap because I paid a lot. I paid like 3 times.
The backup is a different brand, though.
Yeah, but I think it's still going to give you the same amount of good crunchy ice. I think what happened is I bought it. It was like Christmas 2020, COVID, right? Everything was crazy expensive. And no one had anything, so I paid like top dollar to get that thing here in time for Christmas.
They're still expensive. That particular brand that we have is not cheap. It's the Opal machine.
Yeah.
It's like the creme de la creme, but
it's lasted. I mean, that was Christmas 2020.
It's literally one of the best Christmas gifts, the most used by everybody in the family. Oh, good. Katharina is still in stock, so that is hopefully the transfer I'm using. I think it is. Was this Katharina or Wild Bloomin'?
I think that looks like Wild Bloomin'.
Oh, well, we don't use a water. So pray tell them why we don't use a water softener, even though
I hate them. I hate them. I cannot like.
That was
like
very aggressive.
I feel very passionate about it. There's a few things that I'm like, nope, I'm never doing it. Anytime I have been in a home with like water softener, I feel like I can never rinse the soap off of me. I'm just like rinsing and rinsing and rinsing and rinsing, and it drives me nuts. I will replace appliances forever to avoid that.
The problem is you do not clean the shower or get the hard water off of that. So when I start buying new fixtures,
when I die, you can get the water softener.
When I buy new fixtures for the house, you will replace them with a smile and not complain because you refuse to let me get a water softener. So.
Yep.
You have now seen the part of our marriage that is imperfect. It actually is fine because I live with it, but that's why we don't.
We do have a whole house filter that filters all the water, but it doesn't necessarily get rid of the hardness. I'm not like adding salt or anything.
Well, and that's why. There's typically a reason why.
I also
do
don't like
things.
drinking softened water.
Well, you can have it not tied to your water source. Once you drink it.
Then you gotta like get all the specific pipes. Like that's a mess. And then you're in the bathroom one night and you're getting softened water out of that sink, you know.
All right, I'm just stressing this transfer, and I'm going to put it over here because you're going to be using the dark oil wax, right? This just all needs to be dark oil wax. Can you do that for me?
Yep.
So this is where we're at now. We're going to seal it with dark oil wax front, back, sides because it's just raw wood. And then this will be ready to hang on somebody's wall and be so cute. Wobbly Woods Farm says it's negotiating. So yeah, it's fine. I actually do have a brand new kitchen faucet to go with a brand new sink because this sink is cracked. And the last time I texted Hallman or emailed Hallman, they said it was coming. It would take a couple of weeks to ship here. So we'll see when my new stove actually comes.
I mean, that was almost a couple weeks ago now.
I knew when I ordered it that Hallman takes their sweet time. Everybody says that. So I knew it, but I did not have it in my
I mean, it was
budget to
October. We're like coming up on 6 months here.
I did not have, it's not coming up on 6 months.
October,
the end of
November,
December.
December.
So you count November,
Okay, so
December,
the end
January,
of
February,
March,
March,
which is like 15 days from now.
Oh, it'll be 5 months. Being a little dramatic, Sally.
I'm fine. I don't have time to put it in right now anyway.
Yeah, we're busy. But I knew it would take a while, and I was willing to do that because it's not like our old one is broken. I just want a new one. All right. Let's see. Now people are talking about hard water.
Right?
Marriage is about compromise. If I felt passionately about the water softener, we would have one. And he would just have to shower and be sad. But I don't really care that much.
And who fixes all the things?
You, when you get around to it.
I've never not fixed your stuff speedily. We were waiting on the part for the dryer.
Should I make a list of all the things I want fixed now so we can prove that fact?
Yeah, well, if the list is long and it's not urgent, then see, it has to be urgent. There's a caveat.
Who's saying whether things are urgent or not? My idea and your idea. Zeb works all the time. There really is no more time to do anything more than he's doing. I mean, he does spend a significant amount of time in whatever like hyperfixation he has, which was tractor. Recently, it's been like gun what was it called when you put your own ammo?
Oh, I've been reloading.
Reloading. That's his new hyperfixation because we love target shooting. He loves hunting. So that's what he's been watching. So there is some time, but you have to do things that are...
I can't work all day, every day.
Yeah, you have to have hobbies. My hobbies are actually what I do for a job. There's very little, except for watching people eat food on the interweb. That's not a...
If you haven't seen them, like, they're just hilarious.
Jolly is... But it is, I consider it market research, right? Like, you got to watch other YouTubers so you
They
get
have
ideas.
actually listed a few restaurants in the UK that I'm like, man, we need to go there.
Yeah, and we do go to the UK for work. So
they've even eaten at some restaurants in the South here that I was like, how come we don't have those out West?
I know.
I need those.
Jollibee Chicken is in Vegas, and I watch them eat there, and I want to go there. Okay, let's get back to working here. I gotta sand this a little bit, and then would you do me a favor? Oh, I'll paint that if you will stamp this for me.
Yeah, I was just gonna do.
You tell me
one
what you
more
want
this
painted.
color, and then I've got
Okay.
a couple that I need another color, but I'm gonna have to wash a brush.
Okay, so I just want just this part of the Reverie stamp, just the angel.
Hold on, I'm not watching.
Okay, in white. The Reverie stamp is part, I think we have 6 of these left. And this is a good one if you love French country. We're missing 2 pieces, must be in the store somewhere. But that's what I want to use on this. So just please don't put this down here if it's wet. I don't want to have to repaint it. So what color are you painting these? Just whatever.
So that one I was gonna go
one pink and 2 more.
One of
green
them with the trellis rose.
and 2 with the Cheshire. Okay.
No, I already have 2 with the Cheshire. I need
Well, then you
another.
want 3 and 3, or do you want these to be all Cheshire?
No, I need another color.
I have to mix up paint. Can't we just do?
You could do like a DIY paint or something over there, or a cottage color. It doesn't
I got
have
Blue
to be
Hills.
milk paint. I can
Where's
distress
my
and
Blue Hills brush? Did you wash it?
Yep, I needed it.
All right, I'm just gonna do one.
All right, I'm
one
back.
more pink and two.
I'm
Cheshire.
back
That's
to
what I'm
watch. So which you just want the top like angel part?
Yeah, I just want that centered on each side.
Just the angel.
Yeah. Have we ever shopped the Americas store locations? Thrift store. Okay, no. Have we been to thrift stores in the South? Yes. But have we done a like drive? Here's the problem.
It was before we were doing videos.
I don't have 2 months to drive across all the South. I could go one place, but like to go across the entire South and thrift across would take like way longer. We usually have like 12 weeks. And that is one of the benefits to when we go to England, because everything's within like a couple of hours. We can hit the whole southern half of England. Like it's pretty easy to do all that. And I will be 150% honest. People get more excited when stuff comes from further away. So even though it costs the same amount, like it really isn't more expensive to go to England than it is to stay in the States.
Flight wise, it's not a lot different because we live out west. So like it's a 4.5 hour flight to New York.
Because I'm not spending 2 days in a car. I hate that. I'm not good at like the long travel.
Yeah, my parents' house, like if you Google map it, is literally 24 hours of driving time.
Which is 3 days.
From our house to my parents' house.
So anyways, all that to say, people just love the stuff from England. So that's why we go there. I'm not saying I wouldn't ever. Like maybe when the kids are gone, we'll do like a go across the states thing and just take like a month.
I would love to go across like the Midwest and hit like Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, parts of Kansas. We do want to go to like Sweden and do a trip there. Yeah, we've been talking about that for years. We have thrifted in Texas, and we will eventually get out to Alabama to see Zeb's parents. They just don't really have a big house. So oddly enough, where they live, there's like no Airbnbs within 30 minutes of their house. So we haven't quite like figured that out. We have a lot of humans. Well, they're like 45 minutes away from the outskirts of like Birmingham. So we could stay there. So we might. It's on the list of things, of possibilities. But as far as like a tour where we like go across the entire South, I don't think so. And I do see my sister finding good stuff, and my mom's always texting me like, "Do you need this?" I'm going to be honest. They've never found anything that I was like, I can't find that here, though. Yeah, well, so it has to be stuff I can't find at home. And some things but it's not like if she's finding antiques, she's keeping those for herself. Yeah, but like if I can find it thrifting here, there's no point in me traveling. Definitely, I can tell you the stuff that we find in England. Well, we do not find that en masse here in the States. We find a few pieces here and there, but like to take 12 days and find 20 boxes of junk, like that only happens going to England. All right. At least for us. White decor ink on here. Maybe we'll angle the camera down. And Joni says, and I love the videos of the towns. And car boots, hands down. Like $1, $2 for things, $5 for a copper pot. Like it's pretty crazy. Platters for not dollars, sorry, it's pounds. So a platter for £2 is worth like $80 or $90. Like it's like exciting, which yes, I know it costs more to get there and to fly and all that kind of stuff, but it's so fun. It's like a getaway plus work. And it's gorgeous. Although Zeb and I have talked about going to like back east or like the Midwest. Yeah. And so I think that we have 7.5 more years until Jack graduates from high school, and then we can do more things like that. And if you guys are still here in 7.5 years, you'll get to see it. In 7.5 years, we will have been doing YouTube for almost 18 years. Lisa, don't tell me that because I want to go to England right now so bad. Lisa said car boots have been amazing the last couple weeks because the weather's been nice. Oh, this had some black ink on it too, and we got like a little shadow effect on that one. Look at me not cleaning my stamp and getting a bonus. It's a little subtle. I like it. I'm going to lightly distress the edges, but otherwise it's done. Let's see. Yeah, it's car boot season there. Their weather's been pretty nice. I keep track of like 10 major cities. Wisconsin and Michigan have awesome thrift stores. I follow Liz Marie, and she's in Michigan, and she finds lots of good stuff at thrift stores and then sells them at her shop. So definitely on the radar.
We just can't really go places. It's part of the reason why we don't go up northern England into Scotland, because things are more spread out up there. And we just can't go where we can't just get tonnage in, like, we usually take 11 or 12 days. And so we have like 10 days to shop. And we got to get everything we can, because that's the only time we have. Anybody that follows us closely knows that our whole life revolves around kids, which is great. That's what we do. Last night we were at a cheer banquet for Eliza. Our kids are in multiple sports. My mom lives with us. She's 85, so we're often taking her places. I actually need to get her back into her GP, because there was something my sister wanted me to have them check out for her. Are you just doing one coat of this and then you're gonna?
Yep.
Okay.
These are both just one coat.
Yeah, it's covering pretty good.
All of these here. So we're gonna go 3 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have to say that the thrift stores here are pretty good, and we're actually really good at, like,
we are very blessed
finding stuff.
with a lot of people donating tonnage, and there's just a lot of thrift stores. Like the area we live in an hour, probably hour and a half long.
Stores,
well, and there's in between, I would say, like Payson on the I-15 corridor, because it kind of just follows the trail of the mountains, right?
Yeah.
So along the Wasatch Front is probably an hour and a half between Nephi and like North Ogden area. And there's like 2 million people that live there, and all the thrift stores are all along that corridor.
Patricia says, thank you for saying nice things about England. I live in a rural village called Colebrookdale. We love England.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like home. And we love going to France too, but it's always nice to come to England because, I mean, it's easy when it's a language you speak. I would like to start working on my French so that way I can spend more time over there, because they don't speak as much English over there as you might think. Sweden, unless you're going in central Sweden, they speak a lot of English there. And then we do want to go to Sweden. Zebs has family heritage there. I think I'm going to use like every last strip of this Cheshire, which is great.
Okay, I think I'm going to just leave this white. I always get vintage linen, which is the clay paint, mixed up with white linen. This is white linen in the Cottage colors, not to be confused with the vintage linen. Similar colors, but this has the built-in sealer.
Oh, estate sales are good in Illinois. I feel like estate sales here in Utah are way overpriced.
Well, and they sell off everything that's good, like on Facebook Marketplace or online, or the kids take it. And usually people have 5 to 8 kids here in Utah. It's very common.
If you're not selling at thrift store prices, I'm not buying.
So what's left at estate sales is usually pretty slim by the time you're getting to it.
Oh, Kimberly says, I have a friend from high school that lives in Sweden. His town is 1,000 years old. We have a guy that we've met in Round Top, which we did go to Round Top, and that was really fun. And I do want to go to Canton Days. But he thrifts and owns a home in central Sweden. And
yeah, he goes and loads up on Mora clocks and then brings them to Round Top.
All right, I did all of these. So you're done with that. I just need to lightly distress it.
This is finished. It's got like a little wear on this silver, but I think honestly, if we scrub it, it'll clean a lot of that up.
It's actually okay, because I photographed all of it, so it's all aware. Just let that white dry, and then
that was just a knob. Problem solved. You could do this with a 3-tiered tray too if you had the tiers.
Oil waxing, that's ready.
Yep, I will.
I've now done my.
Did you sand that? Like you're happy with how that looks?
That's totally ready to go.
Okay, let me.
I just need to lightly sand this all around the edges. I love the stamp that you did on here. It's like it's almost like
it's pretty subtle, but you can. It's like shiny. I don't know how I got the shiny out of it.
Oh yeah. Well, the stamp's still wet.
Okay, sweet pickings, oil wax, dries hard, water resistant, all natural, non-toxic, low VOC. This is in the satin finish and the dark color, because it comes in lots of different colors. So and we do have smaller sample sizes of this too, if you want to just try it out, if you're nervous about it. I'm going to take this little leather strap off.
You're done with the pink, yeah?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Okay, I'm gonna put this in water so it doesn't dry on there. And then what I need to do is make myself a nice big radius because I've had my glue gun on and I just need to put the moss on this and then this project is done. I watch mudlarking. I have heard about it. You do need to have like a permit or something.
Yeah, the guy that we
mudlark.
get a lot of our crocs from has like a whole team that
Well,
does
they're not
that.
really mudlarkers. They like have dig sites. I guess that's mudlarking, but
he calls himself an archaeologist.
Well, because he is. He's a commercial archaeologist because there's so many historically important sites. If they want to do builds in England and there's dirt that hasn't been surveyed, like they literally have machines that see what's in the ground.
Well, he was out in the middle of
he
was out in the middle of the farmer's field and he's like, watch me find something cool here. And he found like 12 feet down, like pre-Roman, before the Romans were in England, like burial of three soldiers like standing straight up. And he couldn't even place like where they were from. He's like, they may be Normans, they may be Saxons, they may be before that, I don't know.
Let's see. So Kimberly says, Jamie, if I use milk paint on wood, does it always have a crackle? No. So it depends on if there's a resist. A lot of times the crackle happens because of what finish is on it. This wood is raw. It will not crackle. We would have had to put sealer on it to get it to crackle.
So Jamie used Blue Hills. This is Blue Hills in the cottage color. I know on these Paintapaloozas, we use like 100 different things. So if you have any questions, make sure you're hitting Caitlin up. And now I'm using dark oil wax over the top of this transfer.
Oh, you took out the little piece of leather?
Yeah.
I probably should have done that when I painted it.
I'll tie it back on. Okay.
Joni says I look younger now that I've lost weight. Not that I'm very old. I feel like 42 isn't like ancient, but I'm not a spring chicken anymore.
She went in to a CVS the other day, which is like a pharmacy / drugstore. Was it yesterday?
That was yesterday.
And she just needed like some daytime cough and cold medicine. And she came back out. She's like, I don't have my license on me. They're carding me for this.
I think they card everybody. There's no way I don't know. Think I was 18.
If I walk in there all bald, they're not asking for my ID to see if I'm 18.
I'm like, no way homeboy thinks that I'm not 18. I have 2 adult children older than that. Odelia's turning 20 this year.
It was just funny. I think it's your braces. It throws people off.
I have another at least 3 months of braces. Let's see. Deb, do you have flashbacks on the rocking horse with the weird hair?
Flashbacks? No flashbacks.
We do too many weird projects. I still have a little bit of PTSD from that. We did it on a channel member video, but I painted like a wire letter holder thing, and it was such a pain in the butt. Remember that? It was yeah. Anyways, I painted it, and it's fine now.
You got it done.
They card for excessive use. Yeah, but they had to have my they didn't put in my personal information on there. He just looked at the card. It wasn't Sudafed. Sudafed they check because you can make
don't say it. You can make other things.
Illicit drugs?
Yeah.
I won't say the name because I don't want to get flagged, but you can make things with it that are naughty. And they do that. But this wasn't Sudafed. Lori put it in the comments there.
The conversation today has been excellent, you guys.
This is going to take me a while to get this moss in between all the cracks here. But they literally just spray painted the foam green. Like that was going to look good. I don't know whose idea that was, but it's not a good one. I get my bag of moss. I think this one's from Amazon, but you can get it from your local craft store. We don't really have local small business craft stores here. We have Joann's, which is shutting down, Michael's, and Hobby Lobby. There's stores like ours that sell paint and stuff, but.
So this will lighten up as it dries a little bit, but not a ton. It will get lighter as it dries, but we're also at the bottom of ours, and it's good to shake it and mix it up. So I think it's also getting a little thicker.
That's good. They get a little thick-licious.
Yeah. Which is fine. That's an amazing look.
That looks so good.
Okay, now did you have sandpaper out?
Let's see. I'm getting lots of paint from y'all for my birthday, April 1st. Can you tell me which is your favorite DIY paints or the milk paint? I don't have a favorite. That's like choosing a favorite kid. I think you should get a little of each.
I would say get the colors you love and some neutrals.
Get some bespoke paint.
And like a black and a white.
Yeah, try it. If
So
you're
that you
nervous,
can
try
do all the
samples
things.
of the milk paint. They go a long way, especially if you're doing small projects.
And then build on that. Like, be like, okay, I really like the way this one went. Get a couple of samples of milk paint and play around with that and be like, you know what? I like the cottage color better than milk paint. Or I like the way the milk paint looks super old and crusty, because that's my favorite look.
Where was I at that I got carded at a casino? Were you with me? I was somewhere with Debbie. And we had
I
to
don't
walk.
think I was with. Oh yeah, you guys. We were in Vegas, and you guys had to walk through the floor to get to the venue we were going to because you didn't want to go around. And they carded you.
They only carded me, and this was probably like 5 years ago. But I was like, really? I don't look 21. The lights must be real dim in here. I'm like, but thanks for making an old lady feel good. I have plenty of crinkles.
You didn't paint the bottoms.
Oh, I didn't.
Did you get rid of that milk paint?
You have to oil wax them.
I'll oil wax them.
It'll be fine. They're the bottoms. In Britain, they only asked if you looked younger than 25. All Joanne's are closing now. But I'm not surprised because they're, at least here, they've been really kind of a hot mess. I went at Christmas time and it was messy.
Don't you have like a $25 off or something?
I don't know. Our store is not perfect. Like our
shop.
Our shop. I always feel like it could always use a little bit of me organizing it. But then I go into these big box retail stores that people will drop hundreds and hundreds of dollars at. And they're a hot flipping mess. And our little boutique is like, looks a lot better than that. We take more pride in what we do. Right now we're fighting, which I need to tell the shop, remind them to vacuum the front door. It's warm again. And
the box elder bugs
it didn't
are back.
get cold enough to kill all the box elder bugs, so they're back. Normally they don't come till the fall. And they're on that front door, but it's not warm enough that I can paint the front door black. And hopefully
Are you going to paint it black?
I am. Because I'm hoping to not attract box elder bugs. And we do need to spray the front door, but it doesn't really help. Like a placebo, but I gotta try something because I'm like, people come and there's like box elder bugs in my front door. I'm like, I promise, it's just a thing. They just come here, can't help it. Thanks, Lori. Yeah, we showed the shop in the video that we put up yesterday, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, I'm not seeing inside your store," so I think we have a bunch of new followers. We need to show more of the shop.
It's fun to show anyway, and it's been since like January since we've showed it, maybe end of January.
And we have a bunch, like if you go to the new to JRB collection, you'll probably find something in there you haven't seen because I have been shopping for the spring. And quite a bit of it has sold even without us doing a shop tour video, maybe this Friday if we're filling up to it. I'm trying to not go into the shop while we've got this cold, just because I don't need to get my employees sick because somebody's got to work.
All right, you guys, look at how smooth and shiny that got. And how much it richened up that color.
How close is Lehigh to Salt Lake? We're 30 minutes from downtown. And we're right off the freeway.
We're like 30 minutes from the airport,
You can see
too.
the freeway from the front of our shop, so you don't have to travel too far off the freeway.
Yeah, we're 30 minutes from downtown and about 30 minutes, but downtown really isn't very far from the airport, but about 30 minutes from the airport, too. So it's pretty convenient.
Lori says, I take pics and zoom in when we're at the shop, like she screenshots it so she can look at everything. We'll try to go slower the next time we're in there.
You were flying on that video we did.
Well, it wasn't really a shop tour. It was just like we literally do go there every Monday morning and drop off, and we very seldom film that part. So I'll try to give little glimpses into the back end of what we do for a living. I am getting there, people. We are...
Yeah, when you said that was going to be really easy, I'm like, it's not going to be as easy as you hope it is to get all that moss down in between there.
I mean, it's not complicated. It's just not as fast as one might have hoped, but that's okay.
We should go somewhere for lunch. All the kids are gone.
I Well,
We'll
can
go
we just
drive through somewhere.
Yeah, I don't want to go in anywhere. I was actually thinking that I did not feel like cooking.
I'm just feeling hungry all of a sudden.
I am
It hit me.
starving. But I have to leave. We have to be done at 1:45. We have a cousin who has a court date that we got to go to, a family court date. So we've got to be there. We've got to get off at 1:45. So maybe I'll pick up, since you're going to do that, I'm going to grab Eliza and maybe I'll grab some food for us while I'm out.
Okay.
I am still selling clothing. I sell this sweatshirt that I have on right now. I am going to be ordering some dresses. We have some fun rompers. We restocked the overalls that have like the lace on them.
We really need to go through and be like, all right, we haven't sold one of these in 6 months, and just go donate it or something.
We have most of the new stuff has sold. We have some older
Oh, you were out of a bunch of tees. There was someone that was shopping there the other day and I was helping them, and we couldn't find like the mediums and larges. You were out of like 6 different kinds.
I probably need, some of them I just don't like to order the same thing over and over again. So I'm like maybe not restocking them. But also I told her you might be. You know what we could do? I got a plan. You list everything for the thrift haul and I will go shopping for the shop this afternoon.
I don't like that plan.
That sounds good to me.
Oh, I forgot to distress this one. That's fine. It looks great.
Susie says that we should get tacos. It's Taco Tuesday.
It is Taco Tuesday.
We could go to Del Taco. I actually really like their little tacos. And they're like 3 for $1 something, which fits the budget. All right.
Maybe I'll distress it. We can distress over that oil wax. It'll just get a little.
Do we prefer dark oil wax over black oil wax?
I do. I think the dark gives it like that old, like dust settled on it. It's been wiped down 100 times and makes it actually look old. Whereas dark oil wax is more of a modern look to me. Which it's still good. It gives you the same effect as far as like shading and highlighting, like detail and things like that. It just looks more modern to me. How
are your lamps coming along, Cortrina? I watched that video when Debbie posted it, so I knew which one you were talking about. How are they coming? I must have scratched this over here. Do we still have the provincial? Yeah.
You had it.
It's in a bag over there. I'll touch that.
You only ever had it over there. So.
How are we doing on time?
What time is it anyway?
It's 1:15.
Oh, we got a little while.
We're good. Don't mind me. I'm just stuffing moss in here. Now I know why the people that made this in China did not do this, and they just spray painted the foam green. Okay, I'm almost done. I got a little hole right here, I think. It's such a mess. I might need a new bag of moss. I've had this bag for a while. The thing with moss is you think you're out, but you like keep pulling from it. It's like the gift that keeps giving. Some people live places where they can just scoop the moss up outside.
We have moss that grows on the 40.
Oh, well.
It's like down.
Been there in a minute.
It's down by the wash under all the trees, like under every tree.
Zeb, are those candle holders? No, they're like finials from a lamp.
They can be whatever you need them to be.
You can't fit candles in there.
Not in them, on them.
You can, yeah. But you can't just set a candle on
I am currently painting them as just like architectural salvage, like go in a basket or in a vignette or something.
All right. Okay, I'm going to show this to you guys. And whoa, I just mossed myself. It's like all over my lap.
And the floor.
And the floor. I'm going to have to vacuum. Nobody said crafting was clean, okay? All right. Ta-da! It's like the smallest little detail to add that moss, but in real life, it looks so much better not to have the spray painted foam. And it's got the pretty stamp on there. I'm just going to touch up a little spot here, and then I'm going to clean up my moss mess before I do anything else. You said you could drill the holes bigger. You could. I don't think Zeb's
you could. I'm not going to on these.
Because we didn't put them
You
in
could.
You could. whoever buys them can do what they want with them. So I've just decided to paint them.
All right.
Jody says it's much better. And Kathy says we have the best moss in the Pacific Northwest. Yep, you do.
Oh, I'm sure you guys do up there.
Those of us that live in the second driest state in the nation have to buy our moss at the craft store or the dollar store. Okay, let's get the trash. I'm actually shocked that our trash isn't overflowing.
Isn't?
It's not. There's actually room in it.
Yeah, it's like an everyday battle around here.
Need like a lint roller or something. I think I have one.
Okay, I'm done with all of those. I need to go, when you get back, I need to go get a different paper. That waxy one, the reason you stand first before you put the oil wax on is because now the oil wax is now all like embedded in the sandpaper. It's not sanding very good. Also need to get a new one of these.
I don't know where the actual roller part went to, but I just don't want this to get into my paint project.
Is that the lint roller?
Yeah, it's working.
Nice.
Hey, it's not my first rodeo.
Okay, now that you, whoa. That's why I got the
I'm
paper
making
out.
a mess. That's making a mess. But
Well,
I don't know where the little stick is that went in this.
I gotta go grab sandpaper. I'll be right back.
All right. Just cleaning up my workspace. I could have got out the little vacuum too, but it was just really sticking in there. All right. That's much better. Let's get back to our projects here. This I painted earlier in Provincial, and I feel like it just needs a little transfer added. So let's see what we got here. Kaylin, do we have the lover of flowers in stock? I'm going to ask before I use something. Do we have lover of flowers? I'm going to wait to put something to. I could just not be lazy and use my phone and see what we have in stock. Oh, Jack's finger got ran over by a scooter on the playground, and I got a voicemail.
Does he need picked up for that?
Nope. They just wanted to make us aware.
Okay.
Oh, we do have lover of flowers. Thank you, Caitlin. I got a voicemail and an email.
Wow.
From the school nurse. She's actually in today. Schools don't have nurses full time now. So usually it's Miss Karen at the front desk who we go to church with. And she's raised, what, 5 kids?
Yep.
So she's usually pretty reliable.
Sometimes she'll be like, I don't think he's that sick. I think he can be.
She's like, do you want to pick him up? And I always ask Karen, I'm like, do you think he's
I'm like, is he running a fever? And she'll be like, no, he's not.
I'm like, okay.
I'm like, thank you, Karen.
Some of us old moms know a lot. Very rarely do I go to the doctor with my kids, with my mom, with Zeb, that I don't already know what's wrong and what needs to happen. I'm literally just going for a second opinion and to get a prescription. Sorry if that offends any doctors or anybody in the medical field, but it's just the way it is.
Oh, you didn't paint the bottom of this one either. Look at you not painting the bottoms. There's still the tag on there.
You should take those off ahead of time. What are you doing?
I took mine off as I painted them.
Well, I thought you'd already taken these off when I did it.
Got the Savers tag.
All right, I'm using the Forget Me Not on my cute little canister here. And then do we have clear white wax out? I need to white wax it. I'll do it in a second. I'll grab it if we don't have it. I'm going to use white wax to seal the transfer and to just kind of finish off my...
I think we do have some of the Sweet Pickens white wax.
Okay, I can use that.
If you wanted to show that.
Okay.
I just didn't see the clear in there.
Oh yeah, it is daylight savings time. We did just change.
Sunday.
Arizona and Hawaii don't change.
I grew up, well, Northern Arizona on the Navajo reservation changes.
Oh, okay.
They change with us. They're same time as us. But most of Arizona does not change.
Okay, so you said you had
The white wax is over there. I don't have it out.
Oh. Where did you see it in here?
It's in the bottom. Over on your left. On the bottom.
I see gold wax, crackle.
You're going to have to move some of those bins out. It was deep in there.
Well, I just found the DIY white wax first, so
That'll
that's
work. Okay. Cheshire in the bespoke milk paint line. It's over raw wood, no wax or anything. And this is it with the dark oil wax. Same color. It almost got like a sagey color.
Don't stress. I'm going to wipe this off. It's not going to look like this.
Oops, that's not the one I want.
And then you can also use clear wax as a eraser if you get too much wax on there. Do you have the paper towels out? Do we have a rag? Oh, I like that better. I never know what I'm going to find in the drawer. Okay, I'm going to pull back this white wax. That will seal my transfer and also give me kind of an oxidized look on my crock here. And this paint is sticking really well because this was an unglazed bisque. So it's really porous. And I probably will go underneath and paint this bottom off camera, but there we go. See, the white is just kind of toning it back. You can see the difference between white waxed and not white waxed. It doesn't look a lot different, but I had to seal a transfer anyway, so. Linda says, I'm going back to England, Hampshire on Friday. That's awesome. Let me know how it goes. We might yet still make it, but I don't know if Odelia's going to have surgery on her deviated septum or what's going on with that. So I just don't really feel like we can go with not knowing what's going on with her.
Yep.
So
well, and she's just still doing a service mission. Like they haven't released her from being a missionary because it's basically like a
got to decide what she wants to do while she's home.
Yeah. So she's signing up for like a bunch of service assignments and things because it's not that she can't like go do work or do service or even
she just needs to be home to take
even
care
go
of her
teach
stuff.
like she was doing in Michigan. It's just and we had no idea, right? Like teenager, she'd come home if she hadn't slept well the night before, she'd nap when she had a spare minute here and there. And you know, you don't as parents, you don't that's every teenager ever. Up all night, nap all day. But when we send her out, the mission is from like I don't know, you get up by 6:30 and you're in bed by 10:30, but you only have like a little bit of time in between for like meals and various other things. You don't have time to like go back to your apartment and take a nap for like 3 hours. In between everything, they keep them pretty busy. So she just after 6 months of that schedule, she's worn out. Because
she's not getting enough sleep. She can get to sleep, but she's just
well, and it's starting to affect like other things in her health. Like she's been getting sick a lot,
losing hair. If you don't get enough rest, it affects everything. Anybody who's had any kind of sleeping issues can tell you that. And sleep apnea runs in our family. So a lot of people think it's just because you're overweight. It doesn't matter. It does not discriminate. It can be worse if you are overweight. Sleep apnea can, but it can happen even when you're thin. I actually probably have it too. So.
I told Jamie, I'm like, well, Adelia's getting her test. Just go down in there with her. Have them hook you up.
She actually had a sleep study and she got her tonsils removed for sleep apnea when she was younger, but it didn't solve the problem.
I actually think I like it's more of a contrast, the dark wax. I'll show you guys in a minute what I'm talking about on the Cheshire than it is on the trellis rose.
don't know that I'm going to get this finished before we got to go. I got to heat gun this and lightly distress it, then white wax it, I think. What I'm going to do. You know, those 2 big candlesticks sold, you're going to have to paint those.
Yeah, I'll get those painted. I think I'm going to do those in cottage color.
I feel like I did way more projects, but I didn't.
You did the one cutting board over here.
Oh, okay. Well, add that to my list. I'm like, I'm feeling unproductive here. Yeah, trazodone has to be super, you have to be, they prescribe that for Odelia, but it can cause, has a lot of side effects. It can cause manias, it can cause all kinds of things. So she's not on that, and she's very young to have to be on that kind of a medication. So we're looking at all the things. And we got enough mental health situations in our genetics.
I think that's every family.
Valid. I just can't talk for every family. I can just talk for my own. We don't need to add mania to it. Oh, that's awesome. Susie says she'll be in Utah in August. What color are you using?
So this was Cheshire, and now I've dark oil waxed it. Cheshire is in the bespoke milk paint line, and dark oil wax is a Sweet Pickens product. If you just search dark oil wax or oil wax just by itself, it'll bring up all the colors of the oil wax because we have clear, black, dark, and white oil wax. We used white oil wax on our floors to seal them on our oak flooring throughout the entire house. And we used white oil wax on the countertop, the butcher block back there, and on this island. And it's held up great.
What is your favorite color?
Of the new ones?
Yeah.
Or favorite color in general?
Just in general, what we carry. What's your favorite paint
Skeleton
color?
key.
We haven't used that in a while.
No, we've been out.
I mean,
Well, we've been out here. They have it at the shop. We just haven't grabbed it. And I think I haven't grabbed it because I used it a ton for like 3 years.
My favorite color is probably Cheshire or Americana, Apothecary.
I
use
am a
those
big
lot.
fan of crockery too. I actually like my favorite color palette
I love Provincial.
is straight from the 70s. I like all the neutrals paired with like tans, browns, and oranges.
Skeleton key is like a blue-gray, like a light blue-gray.
I do like smoky blue colors too.
Yeah, we also love candy.
And smoky greens. Smoky blues and smoky greens, but not like straight up green. Like this green here, it's okay. But I love juniper. I actually really like the way these turned out.
We do all the things, the magnesium, the melatonin. The problem with melatonin is you can get to where you kind of become like...
You can take it to the point it doesn't really work.
I don't use melatonin all the time because it just doesn't work if I use it all the time. I have to do it like intermittently.
So now we have some fun architectural salvage pieces, or you could, honestly, you could use these as candlesticks. Like here, we'll see if we can do a quick spin. You're going to see some projects we were going to do, but I couldn't get the stuff printed off in time. This is going to be from a distance because I can't bring the camera over there.
And Zeb has his
and my laptop bag is on. Like, look, you just throw something up here like this, just add it to what you already have. Can you guys see that?
Hopefully this.
Can you even see that from that far away, Jamie?
Yeah, I can see it. Try the pink. I feel like the pink is going to show up better against what we've got going on there.
Okay.
Can I sand and use oil wax inside? Yeah, you can use it inside. Oil wax smells like oil wax, but it's not toxic. So it might not smell delightful, but it's not like you can't use it inside.
Yeah, that works good with your copper. You need this one's loose. You need to hot glue gun this one back down in.
Yeah, I just moved those a lot. Yeah, you can see the pink. Those turned out really cute.
So this is the trellis rose color with dark oil wax. And you don't have to do it on architectural salvage. Like this would be good like on a chair, like a rocking chair would be fun, or like a high chair. You could do a whole dresser.
So now that I flip this over, I can see that this particular candlestick was red. Somebody painted it that blue color, and now I've added provincial to it.
I was going to show these. I almost don't want to touch these because I just sanded them and my hands are a little oily. Hang on.
I don't know if I'm going, maybe I will white oil wax or white wax these. I like this blue peeking through though. It looks good.
So this was the cement bookends that had the staining on them. We couldn't get it off. And I just took some 80 grit sandpaper to them.
Yeah, I need to get those listed. They were from like a few weeks ago.
They turned out great, but my hands are going to get them all oily, so I'm going to set them back down. I'm going to have to sand them again.
People ask us, do you have to make everything chippy? I mean,
Yes.
I do when I do it.
Yes.
Do you have to make everything chippy? No. If you don't like things chippy, when it comes to the part where you watch me sanding it, just don't do that.
What if I just dark oil wax this?
Oh, okay.
I need to get this sticker off. I might have to soak it off though. It's like,
well, you can dark oil wax it and then get the sticker off later.
yeah, that's just on the metal piece
just a
here.
warning sticker.
So this is just white paint. I don't know how this is going to turn out because I don't know what this is painted in. This is how we thrifted it.
Yeah, you always have magnesium glycinate. I take magnesium. I can't remember which one I take. There's citrate and glycinate. I take the one that also helps you go because I need that.
Inevitably, all
What?
this we have health with Jamie.
You should always check with your
talk
doctor.
with Jamie Ray.
Yes, please check with your doctor. Magnesium you can actually take too much magnesium and it can mess with a lot of things. So please, 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 always check with your doctor, check your blood levels, make sure everything. There's so many nuances to health. And I actually truly believe that most of the time we know what our body needs. If we really listen to it or we start taking things, you know how things make you feel. If you're starting to actually feel better or worse or whatever. And I feel like if you can have a doctor that will allow you to tell him what your needs are and be well-rounded, that's always the best case scenario because sometimes you need homeopathic, sometimes you need medical. I feel like both things need to work together. And I have no medical degree. Just because I have a YouTube channel doesn't mean that I know everything. That's weird.
What?
I know. Shocking. I'm like, people take so much advice from the people of the interweb. And I'm like, do you know what kind of qualifications they have? My only qualification is that I have painted a lot of junk and sold a lot of junk. So I would say I'm kind of a practicing expert in that area. Practicing, just like doctors. Medicare does not cover naturopaths. Well, that stinks. That I hope will be resolved. But I don't make those rules. My insurance also doesn't cover like my foot zoning, things like that. We finally actually have regular health insurance. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's been a long time. It's weird to use it because we just had like a health share before for like major medical. And so we're not used to having like, oh, this is how the world lives. None of us are health professionals. We're all just talkers. It's very important to know. I do think sometimes you got to ask yourself, am I healthier or do I feel unhealthier since I've started doing X, Y, Z? Whatever that is, whether it's natural, whether it's getting everything that you've got from your doctor, are you in better health? Not do you feel better, because a lot of times things can make you feel better, but you're not in better health. And if the answer is you're not in better health, then sometimes you just have to like critically think, okay, what could possibly be causing that? And how can I make this better? Because if you keep doing the same thing and when nothing changes, nothing changes. And also, clearly, I'm not a health expert. I've been drinking Dr. Pepper for an hour and a half. Can Jack have some Tylenol?
Hey, Mom, this is...
Oops. Let me email the nurse. Actually, you know, I'm just going to call the school real quick.
Yep.
So that way I can make sure it's here.
All right. So this candle really, it was white before. It really soaked up that oil wax. I'm not sure what it was painted with. It almost feels like it was like a chalky plaster type finish. But we're here now. This is what we got. And now it's almost like this neutral brownish gray color on here. So you can see that there, that was white before. It actually looks a lot like the new cobblestone color that we have in milk paint is what this is reminding me of.
I think this turned out pretty good. I love the white wax.
I'm hoping this tones back just a little bit as it dries, but it looks very old.
We could dry brush it because oil wax, when it cures, cures hard. The resin's hard.
It doesn't need to breathe. It doesn't need to breathe.
Yeah.
Once it's
I
cured.
actually think that looks good. So
yeah, I like it.
It looks almost like you stained raw wood. You know, like an aged wood. Okay, let's get all the projects done. Let's show them. It's actually the perfect timing. It's almost 1:45 now. So.
Okay, where did that little leather strap go?
Oh, Jack's fine. His finger just hurts and wanted to know could he have some Tylenol because he got ran over by a scooter. And the gals know me. Jenny answered the phone and she's like, "Can he have Tylenol?" He goes to a school that is the smallest elementary school in our district, I believe. It's got like 400 and something kids. So we're very cozy with the front office staff. And our kids have been going there since Jack was in kindergarten. He's in 5th grade. So. Sorry, Mom.
How was this tied on here?
You can go around that way, or you can go behind us. It's okay. We're almost done. Is that
my leftovers from yesterday?
Oh, your leftovers. Where did you go?
I didn't go anywhere. We had them all.
Oh, DoorDash.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you can just go behind here. I was like, where did you go yesterday? It was when we were at the banquet. Where's my other little project? Oh, there's that.
Boy, that was not easy to tie on there.
No, I actually like the way this looks with these like.
Oh, that's why I did it wrong.
So I think most of these have sold. If they haven't, I will update the photo with the ones that we don't ship. And then here's Zeb's little. What are you gonna do to this plant though? It looks like.
Oh, I was gonna wax this too. I need to dark wax it.
We can do it off camera, but you got to do something with that hair plant there.
The hair plant.
Yeah, it looks like bad. You got to stick those in further or something.
No, that's as far as they go in. What I need to do is fan it out a little more.
Okay. Let me see if I can hold this up here. Can they see that? You might.
There we go. Now it's looking like a bush.
That is. It's just too big. I don't.
It's going to get dark waxed.
It's going to get dark wax and it still looks like.
Hang on, I wasn't done with this.
Zeb, it still needs something. I don't know.
Do you need something around the base of it?
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Comment. Do you think that will look good with dark wax or does it still look like a bad hair day? What are you doing with that?
I tied this on wrong.
Renee said that Odelia and Mom said that the adults had left them alone. Me, Eliza, and Zeb were at the cheer banquet, and it was Grandma.
The adults, Eliza's included
Grandma
in that.
and Odelia, and the 2 boys were here. And Odelia is good at convincing Grandma. Cook says, I've been drinking Dr. Pepper all my life, switched to diet about 30 years ago. Well, I don't drink diet, but this is it for the day. It maybe look like it was a lot, but it's 1 can, and that's all I will drink. And half of it is still probably in there. It's mostly ice. It's like my one vice in life. Otherwise, I drink water and milk. All right, can we?
Yeah, I got the knot done.
With this video?
Yep.
Do you want to do a slow pan?
Sure.
I think everybody could see it. I just don't think they can see this little thing here.
Yeah, I'll just pull this off real quick.
Okay. Okay, so you can buy these products if they haven't sold at JamieRayVintage.com. You can buy all the paint and products at JamieRayVintage.com. And if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more
DIY
and thrifting. And we'll see you guys on the next episode, which will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. We love you, and we will see you later.